Isn't everybody a girl now? Isn't everybody a girl? Well, I have a theory. Of course I do. I have a theory that the reason why Twitter is now called X is because society has been feminized. And they use social media to do it. I mean, it makes sense because when you got men and women in the same arena, and, you know, women have these tactics of manipulation, and I'm not saying it's just us, because, you know, obviously I don't do this. I mean, I used to be a more manipulative person, but I always knew that I was doing it. I really think that a lot of women just aren't even conscious of this stuff because it's ingrained in our DNA. It's ingrained in the way that we function in our society. We're basically being encouraged at all times to be pieces of shit. And so, yeah, I don't really blame women for this because it was easier to take us down, you know? What I see now about, you know, men not being allowed to be men, and there's a war on ball sacks, right? Well, yeah, that's because there's a war on the uterus. There's a war on women's emotions. Like, we're not even allowed to have emotions. That's why they got us all on fucking SSRIs, you know? They just want women to not be able to do what we're supposed to do and, like, empathize and nurture and all this shit. And so they've hijacked our emotions, and now they've turned men into women. They can't really turn women into men, but I will say that women are like a lot more masculine now, and not in a cool Amy Gross kind of way. Not kidding. Not that like this is good. I mean, I'm content. I mean, when you look at me, do you see this like miserable sack of shit? I mean, I don't. I really don't. I mean, I've been a miserable person, and I'd like to believe that I have grown up and over that. And that's not to say that I'm never sad or upset. I mean, y'all have seen that for sure. But so what? It's part of life. It's part of life. It's part of the human experience. That's part of being a woman. That's part of being a conscious American, which is very strange. So, yeah, when you're a conscious person living in a Western country that doesn't believe in consciousness, we believe in television, we believe in distractions, we believe in blaming all of our problems on other people and trusting those people to solve them, even though that's never what they've done. That's what's constantly being pushed. And so, yeah, that's fucking frustrating, man. I'm allowed to be pissed off about it. So, that's part of it, though. I'm not always pissed off. And I like to think that when I'm pissed off, at least it's funny. At least it's somewhat clever or entertaining or whatever. But, yeah. There's a lot of creative potential here, though. So, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, just about happiness. It's like a lot of people, they're really struggling right now for reasons that are totally understandable because this culture is fucking shit. Y'all have smartphones, which are making you miserable. It's fucking up your endocrine system. You don't even give a fuck about that because you don't notice it. You don't know what the fucking endocrine system is. You don't even know what a brainstem is. So it's like, yeah, people don't understand like the inner workings of their minds and their consciousness and all that shit. Then yeah, it's gonna get hijacked, dude. It's gonna get fucking hijacked. And it's just sad watching it. It's sad watching my gender completely destroy themselves and pretend that they're happier with a dog. I mean, look, if you are, you are. But I think a lot of them are lying. Like, I love my cats. I really do. But I don't think that I'm using my cats to cope with the fact that I'm alone. You know? Like, I just like cats. I'd be fine if I didn't have them. I mean, y'all know about propaganda, right? Where's propaganda at? Where's my made in China baby? Where's my made in China baby? He's somewhere around here. Yeah, it's like I can make friends with anything. Y'all can think that's fucking silly. I don't give a fuck. Okay? There he is. There he is. Do you want to meet all of them? I think I told you I have this like large collection of dinosaurs. I didn't actually believe in dinosaurs, by the way. I just think dinosaurs are cool. Even they're a made up story, but whatever. Whatever, isn't everything made up? This is, I believe, Dewey. Okay? Dewey is in John Dewey, the founder of public school. Worse than Hitler. Okay? This is McGraw Hill. Okay. Are y'all familiar with those textbooks that they provided in the government schools that were complete crap? Okay. This is Darwin. I think you guys know who that is. This is evolution. Oh my goodness, where's the other one? The smallest one. I'm gonna freak out if he's gone. There he is. This is Revelation. Saying that because he's like a dragon. So the dragon's in the Bible. And this is royalty. My friend, my little coworker Marisa, she got him for me. And his head fell off twice. And I had to glue his head back together. Yeah, this bitch is broke and she'll still like buy me shit like this online. But yeah, he doesn't really go with the rest of them, but he still hangs out with them. But yeah, I take them to work with me and I just like put them up in my little station along with my icon of Saint Mary of Egypt. Where is she at? Her. Isn't she amazing? She's so amazing. But yeah, I can give life to anything. So I don't know. I have this really weird, distant relationship with people. Like I can't. It almost sounds kind of sociopathic in a way, and I recognize that. Because, yeah, I just feel really disconnected. And it's like, I don't even want to try. Because I have this really deep connection with myself. And I think that's why I'm so close to God. But that is somewhat painful because, like, that deep connection with yourself, you kind of have to sacrifice relationships with other people. So I live kind of like a monastic lifestyle, you know? I mean, it's not like nuns don't hang out with other nuns. I mean, these people, they might be separate from the world, but they still like make time with other, you know, fellow believers. And I mean, I do that too, but I feel like in order to do this, like, I have to be alone. And you know, maybe that'll change, maybe it won't always be the case, but I don't know. It's really been tormenting me as of late, though. And by torment, I just mean, like, I'm just really in my head about it. Like, I can't imagine myself in a relationship. Like, I'll have conversations with people that have a penis, and like, it's always in the back of my mind, like, he probably wants to do something with that. And then I imagine that, and I'm like, barf. Barf! Barfity barf. You know, I've talked to my priest about it. I just went to confession again. And I told him, I was like, I don't know if this is confession, but I need to talk to you. I was like, I need to talk to a spiritual father about just this constant pressure that I feel. And I don't know if it's from me or if it's from society, or it just feels like, oh, everything's ending. So should I like get married and have a bunch of babies before it's all over? You know? Like, it's kind of like that sort of like, oh no, what if this sentiment that I've always had is the wrong sentiment? What if this idea of myself, that's kind of been like a self-fulfilling prophecy since I was a little girl, like, what if that's just totally wrong? You know? I don't think that it is. And that's where I think that's the source of the torment, is like, why am I trying to convince myself that I'm wrong? You know? But that's the devil, though, man. That's the devil. He loves to fucking confuse people, because that's all he has. Because there's no truth. There's no truth in that motherfucker. So, it's like the most that I can do, really all that I can do, is just be honest about it. Because if I'm not honest about it, then I feel like a piece of shit. Like, I am not so committed to anything that I don't question myself, or I don't ever doubt what I do or what I don't do, even. Because I've wondered, like, am I wrong for not getting a smartphone? Am I wrong for, like, staying off Twitter and, like, trying to avoid all this stuff? Am I wrong for wanting to avoid marriage and children and all that shit? Am I wrong for never wanting to drive a minivan and go to soccer practice and all that shit? Am I wrong for never wanting to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich for a child? Am I wrong? Am I wrong for loving cats? Am I wrong for talking to myself all the time? And I mean, I don't think that I'd be much of a human in this world. Like, if I wasn't, like, cognizant of the world that I live in and the pressure of being a woman and the pressure of, like, having the parts to make the future generation, and denying that just so I can spend more time with myself, I realize how that comes across. But I also realize that I am fucking nuts, and I would probably smother a lot of people if I thought that they were going to hurt my child, you know? Like, I don't understand how people can raise their kids here. Like, it's so crazy to me. Like, I remember every day when I went to school, when my parents, like, put me on the bus, I was like, what the hell is the matter with you? Why do you trust this bus driver? Why do you trust all these teachers? Why do you trust the principal of elementary school? And all these kids, you know, like, I think about, like, how much different public school is now, and, like, how much worse it's gotta be. And not just because of the curriculum, but because of, like, the children. Like, the children are fucked up. So, like, say you have kids and you're raising them right, okay? You put your kids in a school, they're gonna be surrounded by kids who are not being raised right. They're gonna be surrounded by kids that are stupid and negligent, and their parents are stupid and negligent, and this is the majority of society, okay? So you could do everything right as a parent, but if your kid is influenced by the wrong person, it's like they could still end up on drugs, they could still end up wanting to cut their dick off, they could still end up hating themselves for whatever reason they're told to hate themselves, you know? It's like there's so many ways to abuse a child in this country. It is not funny at all, okay? And I think that people really should, like, seriously consider that when they're having kids. And it's just absolutely disgusting to me how, you know, we live in a society, like, a society is only as good as how it treats its most vulnerable, okay? If you look at the way this country treats children, the way this country treats the elderly, the way this country treats veterans and the homeless and mentally ill people, no, this country is filth, okay? But look at how it treats its celebrities. Look at how it treats athletes. Wow, they toss a ball around, that's amazing, and they're told where to throw it. They're told where to throw it. And they're told who to not tackle, even though that's part of football, you know? Hey, don't do this. I know you're supposed to play a football game, but this isn't real football. Okay, so you know there's such a thing called fantasy football, right? It's all fantasy football. Unless it's like a high school football game. It's just bullshit. Everything's fucking bullshit. I know, I got into an argument with Nicholas over, like, celebrity deaths. I think that with celebrities, they can control so much of what they say and do that the ones that I think are replaced or whatever, it's because whatever they were saying and doing before, like, wasn't kosher. And so I think it's really easy, not just because of the AI, but because of, like, you know, just everything in the world. Everything's a lie. So they can just, like, kill somebody off and replace them. And I don't see why they wouldn't. Like, I don't think that's crazy at all. Like, I guess maybe I'm one of those conspiracy theorists that, like, I would never, like, put anything past the world. I would never put anything past the elite. And I don't care if you agree or disagree, if you think I'm a total loon for that. I mean, nobody's influenced me to believe that. I remember reading The Stepford Wives. That was turned into a movie in the 70s, I think. It was redone with Nicole Kidman. I think it was terrible remake. But it's really scary. It's so scary. It's about this feminist who moves to this neighborhood called Stepford with her husband and their kids, and she notices that all of the women are like these perfect, like, cookie cutter housewives, and she realizes that they're all being killed, like the real women are being killed and replaced with robots. And this book was written in 1973, I think, so the same year that Roe v. Wade happened. And the guy that wrote it also wrote Rosemary's Baby, which is about the devil. So in the book, the dude that was responsible for like turning these, like killing off these women and like replacing them with these robots, he worked for Hollywood, and he worked in like, you know, at like Disneyland, they have those like animatronic thingamajigs, you know what I'm talking about? Like the Pirates of the Caribbean. That was probably the coolest ride that we went on. I remember that shit. But yeah, they have like a bunch of animatronic things. And so in this book, like that character worked in Hollywood with these little robotic devices. And so that's why he was able to do what he was doing and replace these women with like the perfect submissive housewife. I don't know, it's a scary book that I think was actually about Hollywood and mind control and all of that, MK Ultra, but it was disguised as feminist. So yeah, I think that that's what's happening. But you know, you don't even need to like kill people off and replace them with a robot. You know, you could just give them a phone and some pills and it'll essentially do the same thing. You know? Like, what's interesting is that a lot of these people, they don't behave the way that they used to anymore because they've been modified. They've been genetically modified through the food and through all the stuff that they're told to take, and aspects of this culture that if they don't give in to those aspects of culture, then it's like they don't fit in. And I think for a lot of people to not fit in because of the FOMO, the fear of missing out, it's like, it's absolutely devastating to them. The idea of like being secluded from the world. I do not have this mindset. I have the opposite mindset. I hate the world with a passion. I don't belong to this world, especially the West. What's interesting is I brought this up in a recent video about how during our baptism we like spit on Satan. And my priest brought this up in a recent homily about how we spit in the face of the West, and then we direct our attention to the East, which is the direction of the true Christian church. Okay? So, I've been right this whole time. Fuck the West, okay? There's a reason why it's falling apart. And it's because it's not spiritual. There might be some good things about it. I know that there are, okay? I keep telling myself that I'm gonna read more historical books, but I'm trying so hard to like force myself to read again. So my friend Basil gave me this little book to read, and I was reading it today. This is a prayer that is all about just like taking everything like as it comes and just accepting it. So when you say may it be blessed, it's all about, you know, just accepting the hardship. And I think that's really hard for people. And because we live in a material world, it's like we have all these material problems, so of course people will assume that there's a material solution for it. But that's because we keep forgetting that we're spiritual beings, and our spirituality has been hijacked by
all of these different sources that, you know, are trying to, you know, drag our attention away from ourselves, and so we focus on, you know, oh, well, this will make me feel better, and this will fix this problem, and it's interesting because, you know, we still have like these natural human desires, you know, like companionship, and, you know, many people want kids, many people want to fuck somebody, you know. But it's like, because we're in the material world and everything's so modern and terrible, it's like that's replaced. It's everything's like a newer version of, you know, the other thing, that like we still want the same thing, but as a society we've had to adapt to like more modern shit that is corroding that natural thing, you know. So, you know, social media is just exploiting that's why it's so addictive, because we desperately want to feel connected, and we're doing something that does the opposite. And I mean, most people, because they want to be relevant, because they don't want to be secluded, they feel like they just have to keep subjecting themselves to things that make them feel like shit and fuck up their endocrine system that they don't even know about. So, yeah, it's just sad. Sad state of affairs. But anyway, at least there's this furry steering wheel, right? Not everything in the material world's bad, okay? I can't believe that I've waited this long to get this. Especially like considering like how happy it makes me. But you see, this is why like I don't need children, because I can just do what you see me do right now. Okay? It's also why I don't need a therapy dog. This is why I'm not such a crazy cat lady that I would die without my cats. I fucking love them. They're annoying and they fight all the time because they're females. They hate each other, just like humans. And yeah. Oh no, I feel like I'm meant to understand our society. I'm not meant to be part of our society. I'm meant to understand it and explain it to people and make art about it. Art that confuses people or just offends them and pisses them off. But yeah, that's to me, that's good art. Like, even if it's not that good, like on a surface level, it's good because it hits a nerve. It's rock and roll, baby.